I woke to the sound of gravel snapping under tires, too slow to be accidental, too deliberate to ignore. A soft crunch, then silence. I didn't rush to the window. I didn't need to. I already knew the pattern. He always came at night. Always when the street was empty. Always when he knew I'd be awake long enough to hear, but not enough to catch him. My garden, my one quiet place, had become his playground. My ex-wife called it territorial posturing. Her exact words were still embedded in my mind like a bone shard. Men will be men. My new husband is a real man. Real man. As if destruction was the measure. The air in my room felt heavier, thick with something unspoken. I stared at the corner of my ceiling where the moonlight split, a pale line slicing the dark. And for the first time, something inside me shifted. Not anger, precision. When I finally stepped outside, the tire marks curved across my flowers again, a looping signature carved into the earth. A message, a taunt. And then, something odd, a glove, torn, caught on a broken stem. I picked it up, cold, damp, smelling faintly of gasoline and arrogance. That was the moment I felt it. A flicker, not rage, no, clarity. Something was wrong, very wrong, and it wasn't just the garden. It began weeks before the first tire mark. A message sent to the wrong number, a name I didn't recognize, a time and place that didn't belong to me. My ex-wife had slipped, unintentionally, I'm sure, when she showed me pictures of her new life, her new home, her new husband, Martin, except one photo caught my attention. A baby, carried by him, with a caption she tried to scroll past too quickly. Finally, ours. Ours! She never wanted children with me, said it wasn't the right time, wasn't the right world, wasn't the right us. But suddenly, with him, it was. I asked nothing, said nothing, but something inside me curled at the edges. Then came the neighbors' whispers, the looks, the gentle pitying nods. Something wasn't adding up. And when her husband started driving across my lawn every night as if marking his territory, I felt the truth brushing against me, cold and sharp. People don't destroy things for no reason. People hide secrets until they rot. Something was connected. I could feel it. I just didn't know how deep the roots went. Yet. I started with the baby, not out of curiosity, out of instinct. Birth records, registration logs, hospital dates. The public leaves breadcrumbs everywhere. I found a name I recognized, not his, hers. My ex-wife had listed herself not as the mother, but as the emergency contact. Odd. So I dug deeper. The child was 5 months old, but their marriage was 3 months old. Strange, but not unusual unless you know their history. We divorced 3 months ago. Exactly. A coincidence? I wanted to believe that. I really did. Then I found the medical file. The baby's blood type didn't match either of theirs, not even close. My pulse stayed steady, my breathing controlled. Only my fingers trembled, barely. There was a name scribbled under biological father, then crossed out, illegible. But I recognized the handwriting, hers. And suddenly everything sharpened. The messages, the destroyed garden, the tension, the way she laughed when I complained. This wasn't random harassment. This was fear. They were afraid of something, of someone, of the truth. And without meaning to, they'd been driving circles, literally, around it, around me. The DNA test came 2 days later. A simple at-home kit. One swipe. A quiet click. A cold confirmation. The child was mine. Not his, mine. 5 months old. Exactly the time she stopped being emotionally distant and needing space. The truth unfolded quietly inside me. No explosion, no scream. Only an exhale. A long, chilling exhale. I walked to her house that evening, calm, still, carrying the envelope like a surgeon holding a scalpel. She opened the door laughing, until she saw my face. I didn't speak, just handed her the paper. Her eyes scanned, her breath stopped, her smile died. She whispered my name, broken, soft. Behind her, her husband appeared, smug at first, until he saw her collapse to her knees. He looked at me then, really looked, and I watched realization hollow him out from the inside. He wasn't the man in the photo. He wasn't the father. He wasn't anything, just the fool she chose to hide the truth behind. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I set a trap, I said softly, for the man who kept destroying what was mine. Her husband blanched. What trap? I stepped aside. Go look. When he walked into my yard and saw the steel spikes I'd embedded beneath the loose soil, meant only to puncture tires, nothing more, he screamed. His truck sat skewed across my garden, tires shredded, axle bent, oil bleeding into the earth. He slipped in the mud, cutting his arm on a spike. Nothing fatal, nothing brutal, just enough to teach him he wasn't invincible. My ex-wife saw the ruin, saw his blood, saw the truth in my stillness. She nearly fainted. I didn't help her. I simply said, "Next time you hide a life, choose a better liar." I walked away before they could speak. The night air felt cleaner, sharper, almost peaceful. I didn't care about apologies, or explanations, or the broken man crying in my yard. All that mattered was clarity. The child was mine. The truth was mine. The silence was mine. I didn't reclaim the garden that night. I reclaimed myself. As I closed my door behind me, I felt the last thread, quiet, final. Some betrayals burn, some scream. Mine ended with a whisper. You never should have lied to me. And for the first time in months, I slept.